Okay, next question, and this one from Todd Weitzel. There's a lot of talk about the PS5 power saving mode being effectively a new performance profile. Do you think it's intended to replace PS4 backwards compatibility as the quote unquote forever platform for non demanding indie games, retro collections, and the like? I guess that really depends, John, on what a quote unquote forever platform is actually supposed to be, really, right?
Yeah, precisely. So, like, conceivably, this would extend the support to things like if we assume that the power saving mode is used for something like a handheld, right, to target sort of this lower spec, these sorts of games could easily fit within that power budget, and by targeting that, it sort of makes it very easy to bring this across to the widest number of platforms. And the handheld, of course, being a newer thing, is something they want to sell, whereas a lot of this stuff is still shipping on PS4, but they mentioned PS4 backwards compatibility, but I feel like most of this stuff is already PS5 native anyway these days, and PS4 itself will be continued to be phased out slowly. So it's kind of a weird point to make, to like refer to it. Like, I don't think they're specifically making this mode to phase out PS4 as the forever platform, because I don't really think it's considered that per se, but it does kind of take that place, in that it's an easier, the lower power mode is obviously going to be an easier target for these sorts of smaller games versus the big 3D stuff, and that automatically makes them suitable for whatever comes next if there's a lower power device.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Oliver?
I'm not too sure. It's not totally clear whether like this is something that game developers could implement and force for all users, or whether it's something that you only would get if you had this low power toggle selected in the system settings, because Sony's messaging on it has been the latter. Maybe the former is a possibility, but
Right.
so far it just seems like it's a user side toggle that the developer can choose to honor in their game, or not, honor in their game, basically. But no, I think it's an optimization target for handheld play. I'd also expect that, like, it's not too far of a jump to imagine Sony potentially shipping that handheld SoC in a like little $300 little box, like a PlayStation Vita TV kind of style device that would sit underneath your TV as like a little set-top home game console thing that would run PS5 software, PS6 software, whatever, in a reduced configuration there. That's also another possibility. But yeah, I would expect this is probably an optimization target for handheld play.
I mean, the PlayStation TV didn't actually do anything sales-wise, but I loved it. And I think primarily I loved it because it was one of those classic reveals, John, where it's the exec on stage reaching into his pocket to bring out a small device to show the users. That classic move from times gone by. We saw it with the DS, we saw it with the PSP, and I'm all for
the iPhone, that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah.
There was a time when devices were small enough where you could do that to some excitement, but now I'm trying to imagine somebody pulling out one of these giant handhelds.
We had our own personal reveal of Xbox Series S coming out of a handbag. Do you remember that, John?
Okay, that was cool. That was
very cool.
I think it was Sarah did that, right?
Yeah.
Who was? Yeah, I think she came in with a handbag and she's like, "Check this out!" Kind of just like whoop, pulled it out. I'm just like, whoa.
I have to admit, I fell in love with the Series S at that point because it was actually, what I would consider to be a console. We were going through this phase where everything was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then suddenly out pops this cute little box that, was capable of running next generation games. Fantastic stuff.